Yeah, thanks for asking, Joe. That's a great question. Yeah, when people set that into motion, so they're gonna, they've heard from a friend, ayahuasca's did this or this for me, it made me feel like a new person, it gave me, this healing. Like I was sick, now I'm well, or my cancer treatment um, was failing. And so I kind of healed myself enough to get down there. And then I got back and now I'm testing okay. So there's, so many stories of why to do it. So people are like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to spend thousands of dollars because I have to book this flight. I have to stay with this community of these people in this jungle where this, you know, kind of tribal area that feels like it's traditional enough that it must be the right place for me to go, and I can do this because other people have gone before me and they said it's okay. So all of that, is a motivation to go to spend the money to help deal with whatever issues you're dealing with, whether it's depression or some kind of physical illness or money issues, and you're losing your your regular stability that you've had. Maybe you lost a bunch of money in crypto and you're starting to question your own abilities, and you're really feeling like you need some kind of change. So all of these reasons that people use to, take the last of their money or spend money that's like retirement money, but now they have to go on a flight and they don't normally fly because they're in a wheelchair, or they're scared to travel. They've never traveled alone and nobody else will go with them because it's too expensive, or they don't really feel the need. So they have all these reasons, and they're putting all of this into this sort of, basket of fears and ideas and experiences that they're going to have to deal with when they get down there. So it's not just about ayahuasca anymore. It's about, I got to travel to a new country. I'm going to be in a jungle. And all of those become the bag of tricks in the ayahuasca. Instead of if you were actually in a tribal situation where, it was the spring peyote cleansing and you were invited to go, or, it was the Sundance or whatever it is, and that particular, tribe, they're going to offer you that because they have a curandero or a shaman that's going to take you into that. And it's right in your neighborhood. You're not flying somewhere to do it their way and have this traditional experience because you were told that's how it needs to be done. So when I confronted that, I was really terrified. I didn't have any money. I was, the savings that I had, I felt like it would be crazy if I used that to go do ayahuasca in a traditional setting, but I really craved that traditional setting, and it was because of my fears of if it was right to do in a different setting. And so I was in Southern California at the time, so I was kind of getting feedback that, oh, you could just go, to Malibu and be in this mansion with these other people, and they're just paying some, Jewish guy $400 for a weekend, and this was like 10 years ago. So it didn't seem like impossible for me to do, but I still question, is it right to do in that type of setting? So as these kind of ideas went on in my mind, I started to really question, what would it be like to do it in that type of setting that wasn't traditional, and would that be okay for me? And then I ran into all these other issues, which are basically because I had already had enough training through other modalities to really understand that I was an empath and I had not worked out those issues yet. And so, there was a part of me that felt like, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to tap into all these other energies around me, and I'm going to be throwing up for some guy a couple yoga mats away from me, or some girl, because I'm going to hear them and I'm not going to be able to discern the difference between me and them. And I'm going to end up in their journey with them or part of them, however you want to look at that. And I knew that was an issue for me. So, this great day came where this guy that he had studied in Humboldt County and Humboldt University to be a psychiatrist, and he was working with cases that were kind of on the bottom end of society, like the divorced moms who had gotten into a situation where, their kids were ADHD and whatever, and he was just like frustrated with the system, and he saw that he wasn't getting anywhere under those processes. And we all anybody that's kind of listening to me now probably knows that they've been through that journey of like that type of traditional therapy certainly doesn't work, and prescribing medication certainly doesn't work. All it does is suppress those emotions and those problems that are already in there. So anyway, I met this guy at Joshua Tree Music Festival. His name was Brad. And he asked me just on a whim, do you want to do ayahuasca next weekend? I'm going to go and do that with some other people. And I felt like he was tuning in to my secret need. That did he know that I had like gone to a doctor just that Friday, and like 2 days before, and was going to have blood work done because I was starting to struggle with something that was going on in me. I thought, well, do I have cancer or something? Because I'm starting to have all these symptoms that I can't seem to knock out myself. And at the time, I was a yoga teacher. I would go down into Mexico and teach yoga to snowbirds at the Knoll School in Baja. And I was a massage therapist. I would set up a clinic on the beach in Mexico and work on snowbirds for the winter seasons. And then I would scoot back up to Harbin Hot Springs and, kind of revamp and go, like sit in the hot pools and kind of clear my own self and go through the self-healing every year. Well, it was coming to a head. Like this lifestyle wasn't working for me anymore, and I had gone through a breakup, and it was getting kind of under my skin because of the way I was perceiving that. And I knew that my health conditions had to do with this big breakup that was really gripping at me. But I didn't know how to heal it in myself. I kind of sensed what was going on there, but I couldn't seem to figure it out enough to clear these symptoms that were, causing like dizziness and a lot of tiredness and fatigue. And, basically in there was like some, heavy duty unworthiness because I hadn't worked out those issues with that, kind of soulmate energy or whatever was going on with that. And without getting into all those kind of boring details for you, I just want to say that when Brad offered, do you want to do ayahuasca in a mansion in Malibu this weekend, I thought, fuck yeah, fuck no. Like, yes, I really want to because I need it, but I'm terrified. And I'm also too empathic, and I know I'll just be tapping into other people's energies, and I might not even come away with my own healing. So I asked him, is there any chance that you would consider guiding me separately in this beautiful house that I'm house sitting in? And I was really lucky at the time because I had this 10-acre property. No, it was 5 acres. And it was gated, and it was up in Morongo Valley. And I had it for 2 years total because it was up for sale, and it was going through a divorce kind of situation. So there wasn't even a sign in the yard. There wasn't even people looking at it. It was kind of locked down from divorce. And there was a pool there, beautiful views, and these big 8-foot windows that were just panoramic views. And it was a perfect place to not only start this ayahuasca process, but it became the place where I was safe enough to go in and develop this method that I have, and to solo journey myself after that. So Brad agreed, and he was kind enough to, order the medicine from a friend, and bring his drums and his little musical instruments up, because I was like, well, I really want it to be traditional. I was really afraid, like, to do it. Like, I was almost superstitious, like, oh, if I do it some other way, something bad's gonna happen to me. The ayahuasca spirits won't like it. And that's all kind of, humorous to me now because I understand what it is. But at the time, I thought, my God, I better do it traditionally. And so, I'll tell you more about that after we take a break here. Yeah, thank you.